This is from the video archive. Bill has a candle going. And will now attempt to retrieve himself from very tight polyester clothing. And prepare to immerse himself in a scalding hot bath. Oh, I forgot to get tea tree oil. Okay, that's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Tea tree oil. I put 2 seconds cold, but that isn't gonna matter. Oh. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. And ended up getting a little chilly. Being a bit indisposed by a female who wanted to talk, or at least wanted to save me from myself. Oh my God, it's creepy, but endurable. It's amazing that the first intelligent woman I talked to in years wants to offer me healing services. And it's enough just for me to sit back and just take whatever benefit one should from such a thing, but also to just analyze it for its unfortunately perverse implications and sort of running a conversation. The idea of, I want to be fair to this person, but running a conversation, essentially. Like running a cow into a chute. But she wasn't able to seal the deal. I didn't accept her email address. I didn't exchange information. I just gave my first name. We ended it on a polite note, but I just went into shock listening to her. But also I had my own shock. And I simply basically talked about a few things about my life and said, oh yeah, I'm very emotional about that. Basically, later on we were talking, she wanted to say something about it, and I said, oh, it's shock. But I basically, going into shock, and I think, it's kind of like everything she wants. If I was talking to a woman and she was experiencing some kind of emotional shock while talking to me, I would say, oh, okay, I respect that, and do you want to take a moment, or, but if a woman went into emotional shock while I was talking to her, her interest would become primary. Her comfort. At the extreme where it's necessary, I would walk away and say, I'm walking, peace to you, sorry for any, which is not always the right way to do it either, because you're offering yourself as prey to unfortunately unwell women. But here's a man having it, and it's like this woman had absolutely no anxiety about even potentially inducing shock while introducing a fairly aggressive style of interaction with the opposite sex. Focused at some very early stage of the conversation. Perhaps when I was merely admiring her interests as she shared them with me, and acknowledging her words and saying it were worth reflecting upon, and that she had healing services of great value, monetary value, to offer me for free. Needless to say, this is a little much to take on a Sunday, which might as well be called a holy day, Thanksgiving or thereabouts. Well, I clearly walked out very far, as far as she knows, into this wonderful sacred place. And she's trying to sell me healing services while hearing and feeling whatever my emotional body happens to be feeling today, talking to her, which is shock, which I'm glad she's not taking responsibility for. But it's interesting that there isn't really what I would consider a normal response, which in a sense gives me another reason why it's a good time to feel this shock. but thankfully not in a way that I resent her for. It's just, it gave me a very facile example, or a very clear example, of why I don't like women. Unfortunately, even when they're not trying to be mean. Their interest. It was amazing how closed her mind was. Since I already shared certain emotional things for her, not really big things, but things that made me emotional, in pursuit of the resonance I felt was possible between us, perhaps, if you want to read most generously into it. And it's like she just wouldn't listen unless I said what she wanted to hear. Like she was some sort of weird high school teacher. Yeah. It's like, it leaves an interesting impression. But I don't doubt her sincerity. It's just, it's very contrived in itself. And a little dangerous. And what she, maybe it just accidentally, is allowing people to believe about what she's expert at doing with other people. She's asking me to interact or have some kind of exchange of services with her therapeutic philosophy, and isn't offering me any credentials whatsoever. And this is, 2 minutes into our conversation in a sacred area. So, where she presumes to, as she says, talk to whoever. Talk to whoever. And her reference to the Native community, or her Native community, or the Native community she had in her community, maybe kind of wondered what these Native people are teaching her, quite frankly. And it's not even like, you wouldn't really notice it. It's at the yin level of like kind of little gaps in her ethics and logic with respect to encountering a strange person that, to the best of your knowledge, ethically, probably came here to be alone and contemplate. If they're emotional, chances are they came here for a reason, not unlike what maybe you and millions of other people do when they come out to nature. But the conversation begins and centers on her special relationship to what she calls the voices of the river. Why some places are hard because too many people go there, which I sympathize with. I don't really know exactly the way she means that. I'm not sure I'm that pompous, but I've gone places where a lot of people go in, and I told her that I kind of hear music. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if mushrooms grow out of my ass. But she doesn't know, due to her resonance with my emotional body, and the way she's relating to my emotional body as a predator and a therapist, and a potential spiritual guide in the name of nature, the native spirit, or the spirits around her, and what they're telling her to do and to say. And when someone tells you that spirits are telling them what to say, that's when you get up and walk away, right? But she's not, overtly predatory. She's just really fucked up in a way that upper middle class women who haven't had children quite often talks very proudly of her path and how she used to be like me when she encountered someone like her, and how exciting it could be, and how you might and she's basically giving me the routine if you're not grounded and quiet enough because of what you're encountering. But she pulls this off with the ease of a child who's memorized her lines that make her a good person and makes her feel very calm and like she has a powerful knowledge. Even though it's an ethical breach in the making. It's an ethical breach in the making. It's a very slow train wreck. When you're listening and listening, it's all very nice. It's like the minister at church. But something is clearly very wrong.
And I'm just going to endure it, be polite, and leave. Because at some point very early on, she really showed that she didn't resonate with any of my body language, not in very obvious ways and when I mentioned my body to do with words, the only reason it provoked her was because it gave her a way to affirm that whatever my woes were something that abused people like me are accustomed to suffering from. Wow, unlike her, I guess, eh? Very interesting way to talk to a strange person. But, she quite quickly got my devotion. Obviously, her path demands a certain kind of respect, just the way she talks about it, right? And she likes that. It gives her rocks off. Definitely going to get some teeth with tomorrow. Okay, water, please. Thank God. It's a little freaky, hey? I'm quite freaked out by the woman. I was like, Jesus, I guess I'm supposed to be. Makes life interesting. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Oh, it's supposed to hurt. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, this is where I let myself be honest. That was creepy. But bearable, creepy. I just don't want people like that coming up to me. I didn't do anything rude to her. I was very polite, maybe probably too polite. Maybe told her a little too much. I don't know. What are you gonna do? And it's strange. I'll say this after talking to a weird spiritual psychopath from the upper middle class who, in sense, her apotheosis of her training as a sort of middle class woman through various persuasive relationships, I guess, that she's had in her life of one kind or another, is to be a healer. That's what she is now. So, and it's the nature of the beast that she's not going to tell you all that much about her as much as she wants to know about you. So it just gets worse from there. They're telling you about themselves, but they're really getting to know more about you because they already know more about you than a lot of people because they're healers. And they found something vulnerable about you, which means they can heal you. And they understand it in their philosophy, how people like you need people like them. And how they were like you once until they started meeting people like them. And it was like a whole different step in their life. And so she looks at me, maybe sees my age and my gender and thinks, yeah, right? And it's kind of like ageism in a way. It's got a little gray in the hair. Oh, that's good. Okay. And it just all works. You can see this is who she is. And you don't want to disrespect that. But that's what makes it hard. She doesn't need sex. She just needs to be herself. She's found a way to satisfy the identity complex that she needs to satisfy, and she's had help doing that, and it gets corroborated. So that's nice and hot. It's weird, So it's actually pretty good. Getting a nice fire. Let's get my head in, and then we'll take a break. This is the crux of it. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Good job, man. Oh yeah. You're doing it. Oh. Oh. Good job. So much to analyze. We'll have that tonight, tomorrow, whatever. This is something to process. Oh my God. I think I protected myself okay, but it's like, whoa. it's worse than a sci-fi horror. I mean, just preying upon all my insecurities and just sitting there and just kind of going along, having dominance the entire time, given numerous cues about just what kind of person I am. And never really justifying the word healer at any time in the least sense of the term, except in the way that she's learned to convince herself and other people, perhaps like me. Probably of a lower economic status. Okay. So, like I said to myself on the way home, I just hope I gave her something to think about without scaring her. Which I don't think I did. You try to be as passive as you can because these people are as confident as they are crazy. I'm serious. I banish thee on all levels. So said the Son of Man. I banish all of thee from all of my territory. I completely banish thee, reject in all ways, object in all ways. You will not get through. You are repulsed and level by every natural force. Thank you. So said the Son of Man. So I can get on with my night. A complete imp, but a sincere one. The deadliest kind. Everything that I fear. Not everything I loathe, because there are worse people out there, but not by much. Not by much. You think she would have come up to me as I was a female? I think not. I think not. And you can just start to be as thankless as you wish for the totally unwanted gestures. Unasked for, unnecessary, dangerous, and deluded. In whatever form or context, spiritual or emotional, they place themselves, dominating every step of the way. But a lot of people don't notice. That's how they are able to delude themselves so well. It's an active, social, financially, even not financially. They often want to offer you free services. It's all still free. Nothing's free with someone like that. I tell you, I should tell you something, lady. I reject your free services. I should tell you something. Holy scary shit.